What we don't hear as often, though, is the people who recovered from COVID only to suffer long-lasting issues with memory, perception, and judgment.
Well, tonight, a new study may actually explain some of those troubles. New specialist Andrew Adams live with more on this story. Andrew?
Yeah, Mike, the findings here suggest that COVID-19 potentially makes changes to the brain and speeds up the aging process. Not necessarily surprising to people who've experienced troubles.
Life is hardly a walk in the park.
Definitely not a journey I expected to have.
And that's without struggling to fill in the spaces in our memories.
Tomorrow will be my 2-year anniversary of getting COVID. Just the case that I got was enough to knock me down for 2 years, and I'm still recovering. Sarah
Lee Johnston says the worst began after the flu-like symptoms ended.
And as soon as I started pushing myself a little with exercise, I had an episode of blindness in my right eye.
Soon, the basics could no longer be taken for granted.
And I couldn't even read emails. I couldn't remember the names of coworkers. I couldn't remember the processes that I had written.
Johnston had no answers for months for the cognitive issues.
I didn't link it to the illness that I had because nobody was saying this is something that COVID was doing.
A new study suggests she may not be alone. According to the report in the journal Nature, scientists found those with even mild cases of COVID-19 had a large loss of gray matter, as well as abnormalities in brain tissue. And those with greater losses of gray matter tested more poorly for processing speed and function, impairments that can be associated with dementia.
But I'm still struggling with processing information at a reasonable speed.
Johnston says in spite of the implications, the findings still bring some comfort.
Man, I saw that study and I felt vindicated.
She continues to piece her life back together.
Are you okay, Henry?
Hoping the gaps fill themselves back in over time.
I knew that was a fact, within the first several months that this was what was happening. But it just takes some time for the science to catch up.
Researchers say the lifelong overall impact could still end up being small, but they also raise the possibility that long-term COVID issues could potentially contribute to things like Alzheimer's and forms of dementia. Andrew Adams, KSL 5 News.